Targeted attacks are commonplace nowadays. Every month we hear about more brand name organizations that have been breached, and there's a heightening awareness in the industry about this issue. Last year we would have talked about issues at Google, RSA, Sony. Now, and even in the last few months in 2013, we're hearing about Facebook, Twitter, the Washington Post, and many other organizations. Next month, it'll be a new set of Global 500 companies that are attacked. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is not just an issue for the large organizations in the world, governments. This is affecting all industry. Successful attacks are becoming so commonplace that the reality is there's a new cyber threat every second. Every 5 minutes, a new organization is compromised. Almost 90% of organizations have active infestations of malware in them, and 75% of those have active bots within their network. Industry analysts have been urging action for some time now. And there's two important things that they're advising. One, it's no longer acceptable to imagine a world where you're never breached at all. In fact, you have to expect to be breached at some point. Secondly, you have to look to new techniques in order to detect these attacks against your organizations. This is why advanced threat detection is becoming one of the fastest growing segments in the security industry. So why is it such a challenge for organizations? Complexity has always been the antithesis of good security. And today we're seeing three fundamental shifts that organizations have to deal with. One, it's the use of virtualization and cloud computing. This is changing how we store information, where we store information, how we move it around, and how we put walls around that information in order to protect it. Secondly is the consumerization of IT. Now everyone has their own devices. In fact, they have many devices that they expect to be able to connect to the corporate network and access those corporate assets. And lastly, it's the change in the cyber threat landscape. In the past, we've had drive-by attacks, general malware infestations, but now attacks have become far more targeted. They're intended to target your organization and erode your competitive advantage by stealing your IP, your information about your customers, state secrets, really the know-how that you have in your business that sets you apart from your competition. Attackers use this complexity against us. They use information that they gain about our organizations through social networks and other methods in order to customize an attack that will bypass our traditional defenses. They work very hard to understand how we're organized, how we're set up, and how they can breach those typical defenses that you'd see in an organization. That's why, in order to deal with a custom attack, you need a custom defense. Not all attacks are the same, but many follow a set of steps that are commonly understood in the industry. The first step is about data gathering. They're gathering intelligence about your organization. They're using social media sites to identify typically a human victim, which they will leverage social engineering in order to enter into the organization. Step two typically involves an email with an attachment or a link in it. Behind that link or behind that file is some embedded malware that gives that first point of entry into an organization by compromising that user's machine. Stage three involves setting up a command and control that allows the attacker to communicate with that point of entry that they've gained in the organization on your endpoint. And from there, they can download more malware. They can learn what they're seeing from that point of entry as they move on to the next steps. The next step typically is lateral movement. They're looking for other machines within your organization that they can compromise and move around because they're targeting typically information somewhere in your organization. And that first point of entry is not the ultimate target. It's usually just used as a staging ground to move to other areas of your business. Once they've found the data of interest, then it's all about how do I package that information and get it out of your organization and back into the attacker's hands. As you can see, these attacks are social, stealthy, and sophisticated. They're truly designed to bypass your traditional defenses in a customized way. That's why a customized attack needs a custom defense in order to address it. At the heart of Trend Micro's custom defense strategy is deep discovery. Deep discovery allows you to analyze communications, content, and behavior, allowing you to detect when any one of these stages is occurring in your organization and allows you to respond.